Hello, welcome to Flower Juice. My name is John McDonald, and today we're going to make an arrangement that I hope you'll find interesting. Basically, I've been suggesting that pin holders are a great mechanic for using for designs. So they're good for very simple modern designs and obviously Ikebana. But can we use them for any design? Well, I think yes, and I've been thinking I should really make more of a traditional style arrangement, but just using a pin holder. So I've got this nice container. What I quite like about this is it has a little bit of a raise, it has a little bit of a foot to it, and that just kind of raises up the flowers, makes it a little bit more interesting when you're looking at it from afar. I've got this one big pin holder, which is great. This is a good size, and actually it has quite deep pins. So if you are going to be adding more material, then it is better to use a bigger pin holder or Kenzan to just hold all that material nice and safely. So the first thing we do is we need to add water. You always need a water source for your flowers. And the way to make sure that everything in the pin holder is in water is just to bring your water above the top of the pins. So I've got some tulips and I've got a few red roses, and I thought we would and a little bit of kind of mixed greenery. So I thought we'll just see what we've got and how this is going to work. I also have this beautiful rosemary. So I think what we'll do is we'll do what I would normally do with a kind of traditional design, which is create a framework. So I'm just cutting the material. Now don't worry if you do get bits in the water, you can always do a water change at the end. With the pins, it's quite good going down, straight down, and then bringing it to where you want. Or if you know that it's going to be on quite an angle, you can start on an angle and bring it in. But these are sharp, so just be careful not to let go of your material and end up jamming your hand down onto the actual pin holder, because it will hurt. So generally when we think of a traditional design, we tend to think of the flowers and the material radiating out from a central point. So that's really what we've got now with our rosemary. And I have to say the smell is just brilliant. I am going to bring a little bit of that rosemary just into the centre as well. So I really just grabbed a little bit of material of different types. So this conifer, not the most beautiful, but it is giving a change in texture, and it just sits quite nicely as a backing material. So we can create like a framework with our foliages. So you can see that we're building this up. Now, I'm not sure the name of this one, but it grows like billio and it's kind of quite fun. So really, when you're creating a framework of foliage, what you're looking for is generally a nice mix. So a mix that's going to add interest and movement and draw the eye in, frame the flowers. And create that background interest that we need. So a little bit of the ornaments there as well is just bringing a bit of actual light into the design. I do have another little bit of this that's a little bit different, so we can bring that in as well. So when you're handling your materials, you're just looking at how best they're going to sit. So even having a little bit to the back there is quite good. It takes the eye through. I did have this, but I think maybe it's a little bit too big. but we can always just take it down a little bit to get what we want. So say we want to put a smaller piece in, then we can just trim it to do that. And because I've got that on that side, I'm going to bring one piece over onto this side as well, or down on the diagonal. So just the same kind of techniques you would, or the same kind of method that you would have if you're making a traditional design. So basically that material there follows through. So we've got a central point, we've got a nice framework, it's symmetrical as well. So that is really another good way to define what is a traditional design as opposed to a different design. So we will add our roses first because they really are the main flower, and I'm going to put them in a line. And you can see that this is quite easy to do. I can feel when I'm placing the flowers that they're going onto the pins and that they're being held. So this one is maybe more interesting. You can always use like another stem as well, just to actually help put your stem down onto the pins. So you can put the stem on and then use another stick or twig just to hold that. So what we've got now is we've got our central line of our main flower, and these are going to open up and they're going to give quite a nice show. But my secondary flower that I want to use are these lovely tulips. Now they're nice and tight just now. What's nice about them is that they have a slight variegation on the leaf. So that adds interest as well, and in a way that ties in with the euonymus. And again, we're going to place these in so that they radiate from that central point. Without breaking them. And I can even come from behind a little bit as well, or put one in or from the back, accessing the pins that are there as well. Just check with tulips when you're using them that their leaves are in good condition. This one I've just used the leaf on its own because I wanted to put something a little bit stronger back here. And then if we sit one of the other tulips beside it, then it looks like it's part of that. And I think we want one coming in here. And I have one tulip left, which I think we should bring in over here. The thing with the tulips is they'll grow and they'll change and they'll move and they'll do their own thing, whether you like it or not. And it depends where you sit them in a room. So if there is a very strong light source, that might affect how they're all sitting the next day because they will move in a phototropic way. I'm just using a couple of the leaves just to add a little bit of interest down the base here. And there we go. We've created, what are you up to? we've created a traditional design, but using a pin holder as the mechanic. So the main element of this is that it's symmetrical, it radiates from a central point, and generally you would tend to use like maybe 2 or 3 flowers. You can use a lot of different flowers, but if you want to get a good effect, then I would limit it to 2 or 3 main flowers with your foliage acting as a backdrop to that. So that, as you can see, that pin holder has actually held quite a lot of material. I'm just going to tweak this one a little bit and move that there. So it just keeps it a little bit more upright. So a nice little arrangement that will look great in the home, and wasn't difficult to do. We just had some simple flowers, some simple garden foliage, and it was quite easy to create. Now I hope you've enjoyed today's video. We've got a new video every week. We'd love you to join us for our next design. If you are feeling inspired and you're looking for a little bit more inspiration, then why not check out this video in the description box. Again, it's another spring design, but it really shows you a different way of holding the flowers, a different mechanic, but also quite a traditional style, but in a much more looser style. So if you can watch that, that would be great. But thank you for watching this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Do you have a pin holder? Do you use it, or does it just sit in your toolbox and never get used? Maybe you should get it out. So until our next design, take care and we'll speak to you soon.